Remember that AI anime art, the stuff we were talking about? That just blows your mind. Imagine taking those characters, just like plucking them right out of the screen and dropping them straight into a video game.
Yeah, crazy, right? What we're diving into today.
It's really wild how far it's come, those AI image generators.
It is, but there's kind of a catch. Turning those static images, those cool pictures,
Yeah.
into actual, like, usable game assets. That's a whole other thing entirely.
It is. It's like, okay, you can make this cool-looking character, but then what?
Exactly.
This paper I was looking at, it dives into, get this, it's called SegAnimeChara.
Yep.
It's basically a system that wants to bridge that gap.
Oh, I see.
And the whole point is it wants to automate this process that, frankly, is a huge pain point for game designers.
Right.
You think about all the little details, those crazy hairstyles, weapons, outfits. Imagine having to cut each of those little things out to animate it.
Oh, man. I can only imagine the amount of time that takes.
That's where supposedly SegAnimeChara steps in. A massive, massive time saver. And it all starts with, get ready for it, body pics, which is all about body segmentation.
Body segmentation.
Yeah. So imagine, right, you're basically giving a computer program an understanding of, like, basic human anatomy.
So, like, teaching it, okay, a leg is a leg, an arm is an arm, no matter what.
Exactly. Whether it's attached to, like, a warrior princess or, like, some crazy robot ninja.
Exactly. Even if the leg is, like, bent at some weird angle, decked out in futuristic armor, whatever it is, it's recognizing the fundamentals underneath it all.
Yeah.
And then, this is the really cool part, then comes what's called semantic segmentation.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. Semantic segmentation. Hit me with it.
All right, so remember how we were talking about AI art generators? We put in these text prompts, right?
Right.
Let's just say, for example, yours is a warrior with a flowing cape and a glowing sword.
Okay.
Semantic segmentation basically uses that prompt to understand, like, okay, that cape is separate from the warrior's body, and that sword is its own thing, and it glows.
It's a separate asset.
It helps the AI identify and, like, segment those unique features.
So the AI is basically saying, like, hold on, that's not just some random blob of pixels. That's a glowing sword because the user specifically asked for it.
Yes, exactly.
That's seriously impressive.
Right.
I feel like a lot of other systems, they stumble trying to isolate those details. Like, they get it all mixed up with, like, the body or the clothes.
For sure.
But by using those original text prompts, SegAnimeChara, it suddenly gets incredibly precise.
Right. That's what's so innovative about it. It bridges this gap between that initial, like, artistic vision and, like, the practical needs of game design, where each piece needs to be isolated.
Yeah.
You have to be able to move it around.
Yeah. It's like, now we're talking. We've got a system, right, that can take this image and dissect it. But how does that actually translate to, like, real-world game development?
Well, it's like,
Yeah.
it's a total game changer.
Right.
To use your term.
I was going to say, it does feel like that when you think about it.
It's huge.
Yeah, because, okay, if you're a developer, time saved is money saved. Right, so that makes sense.
Of course.
But I do wonder, like, by automating it this way, are we losing something, Like the artistic side, does that make the characters less unique, do you think?
Well, I think that's what's so interesting is that by taking those tedious tasks out of the equation, you're actually freeing up the artist to be more creative.
Yeah.
So it's less time, like, hunched over a computer, like moving pixels around.
Right, pixel pushing.
Exactly.
Instead of, like, I don't know, fleshing out their backstory.
Right. And you can spend more time thinking about, like, okay, what's the actual gameplay?
Right.
What's the story I'm trying to tell? Like, how can I make this character really come to life?
Yeah, give them some personality.
Exactly.
So it's not replacing artists. It's kind of like giving them superpowers, to focus on the cool stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think it also has, like, big implications for diversity, right? Because you can imagine being able to generate a wider range of characters.
Oh, yeah.
Way more easily.
Different body types, different clothing styles, yeah.
All of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. See, for me, I've always wanted to make a game.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's that character design part, it's always felt
little intimidating.
Impossible. Yeah, exactly. So this could be huge for, aspiring developers like myself.
Absolutely. It opens up those doors.
Yeah.
And it's not even just about, like, quantity, It's the fact that now a small studio, even individuals can compete. You know what I mean?
Totally.
On a level playing field, create characters that look just as good as those big budget games.
Okay, you've convinced me. This is a big deal. I'm sold. But,
Good.
I do have to ask. Let's be real. No tech is perfect, right? What are we still figuring out? Like, what are those things that SegAnimeChara can't quite do yet?
So one thing that the researchers mentioned
Yeah.
is that it can sometimes struggle with hidden body parts.
Hidden body parts.
So like imagine,
Under the clothes.
well, yeah, or like say a character wearing a big cloak.
Okay, yeah.
Right now, the system might not perfectly predict like what's going on underneath that cloak.
So it's like those optical illusions, where
Yeah.
your brain has to kind of fill in the blanks.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
So yeah, it's like that. And then the other big thing is automatic rigging.
Yeah.
Okay, now for us, like non-game developer folk out there, break that down.
Sure.
What is that?
So basically, rigging is like you're creating a skeleton,
A skeleton?
a digital skeleton for that character
Okay.
so that you can then animate it.
So it can move around?
Exactly. Make it come to life.
I see, okay.
Right. And so right now,
Yeah.
a lot of times artists, they have to do that by hand, like piece by piece.
Oh, wow.
And so the dream is that SegAnimeChara could just like take care of it.
Just handle it.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's tricky because, it's one thing to know, like, okay, these are the different parts of the body or whatever.
Uh-huh.
It's a whole other thing to teach the AI, like, okay, but how do these parts actually connect?
Right.
How do they move in relation to each other? It's like we've geeked out on the tech here, talked about how it changes game design. But for me, it's the bigger picture that's really got me going.
Oh, yeah. What parts got you so excited?
So the researchers, they kind of mentioned this, but like, imagine a world, right, where anyone, and I mean anyone, even if they can't draw like a stick figure,
Right.
they could create their own video game.
Wow.
We're talking like democratizing game development on a whole other level.
No kidding. It really drives home what you were saying about AI and creativity.
Yeah.
Tools like this, it's like suddenly individual small studios, they don't need $1 million.
Right.
They don't need a whole team of artists.
Exactly.
They can
Yeah.
just like make their vision a reality.
The doors are wide open.
Yeah.
What kind of games are we going to see, When anyone can do this.
It's exciting, but kind of,
Yeah. A little scary.
a little unknown, right?
Yeah.
We've never seen this before.
Yeah. What happens when everyone can, like, make their own game?
Exactly. Will there be like completely new types of games, new ways of storytelling? I don't know, but it's definitely something to think about.
It is. It is. And that's kind of the fun of all this, right?
Oh, for sure.
Being there on the cutting edge.
Exactly. You get to find out.
And hey, who knows? Maybe someday soon I'll be playing a game designed by you with characters made with AI.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about. But until then, keep those creative sparks flying out there, folks.